We're live.
Hey! Well, welcome everyone. Despite the fact that nobody is here because, of course, the timing of this.
Right. So now we're just kind of waiting for people to get the notification.
Yeah, we're waiting for people to show up. I did announce on the Discord, and I added everybody. I actually did it twice because the first time I did it in all caps, and I don't know if that counts.
You know what?
Yeah.
I don't think it did. I think I only got one announcement.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, there's a picture of Jake in chat.
Well, there's somebody here.
It did not tag. It did not tag.
There's somebody here, but I don't know who this is. It just says Jonathan.
I think that's Jonathan.
Oh, Jonathan?
Jonathan.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That must be it. Nice to meet you. No, it's really nice to see you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Glad you're here because now I'm trying to think what time zone you're in, and so what time zone it must be there, and so however that math works, I'm so happy.
Oh,
really?
Nathan.
Did not know that.
Yeah. So we've done the announcement on Discord.
But Jake is here.
We'll wait a couple seconds for everybody to be here.
So, Jonathan, it's 2 p.m. where you are, and we normally stream at 2 p.m. where we are, so in a weird twist of fate, we are streaming at our time in your time zone.
Oh my gosh, author. Huh.
Well,
hey!
Other.
It's Jason.
Jason!
Also, I love reasonable time. It's only 3 hours earlier, than usual.
Just a second, now I had to math that out.
Yeah.
Yes, because 10 o'clock is the normal time it starts here, 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And it's now 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And so, okay.
Oh.
And Charlie's here.
Wow. And
Conlangry.
And George. Yeah. All right.
It is.
Anyway, so as many of you know, we are streaming. Well, we're only streaming early just because it seemed convenient, and it seemed like a nice time. Isn't it kind of funny that we hit the go live button exactly at 7? That's kind of nice.
That is the most on-time stream we've ever done. Is the one that was not timed.
Oh, hang on a sec. It says we're clipping a bit.
Well, we can't. Unfortunately, we don't have our microphone. We are out of town, and so we are stuck with whatever.
Both Jonathan and George say so. I don't know if I want to believe them. One of them I know to be quite untrustworthy.
One of them.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Is that because the most recent D&D one-shot, you found out the draconian ways?
Pyrac. That's the name. Anyway, but
okay, Charlie says it's not bad. So
Charlie is the only one that matters.
We're gonna go with Charlie.
It's Charlie Carrot. What a darling name. Love that. Anyway, so some of you may know that we were streaming early because we are in England, and not just in England. We are in Southend-on-Sea or Southend-on-the-Sea. One of those two. Anyway, we are here in the home of the creator of Pankashku from Madam Web, which you would know if you saw the movie as it was meant.
As it was intended.
As it was intended. Mm-hmm. If you saw it as it actually is, then of course you know nothing about it. But then you also probably want those 2 or so hours of your life back. Anyway. We are here at the home of the Jake Penny, whom we would love to come over here and be on camera for a moment. We may have to
have a booba with us.
Yeah, we may have
I'm gonna do this.
We may have to change the setup.
And in like 3 minutes, this will show up. And this is how bad it is. Every time we're like, "Can you see it on camera?" And we hold it up for like 2 minutes, and this is why.
Yeah.
There's Jake.
We may change the setup in a little bit.
3 cameras.
Jonathan, you act like you've never seen LangTime technology problems. You thought that we would have 3 cameras set up.
Yeah,
here and going.
You know, the only reason we have these 2 cameras is because
we traveled with the webcam.
No, I got this as like a set gift.
Oh yeah, right.
From
something, wasn't
100?
it? Oh, was it 100 or not? I was thinking Defiance for whatever reason.
No,
Hi, Jonathan.
I got an iPod from Defiance.
Oh.
An iPod like micro, the ones that
The
are like
Nanos?
yeah, iPod Nano, and it says Defiance on it.
Love it.
I didn't even know how to use it at that point, and now
Yellow.
Yeah.
I love it. We match.
anyway. Hang on. So you might.
Biblaridian's checking in.
Yeah, you might of course know that we're much closer to Biblaridian's part of the world than we usually are, and I was really kind of keen on having Biblaridion here, but he refused on the grounds that we were. It's kind of it's such a slight thing, but on the grounds that we were £10 under for our monthly rent. But I just didn't have it at the time, all right? And like, I would have thought by now that he'd know that we were good for it, but he was quite insistent that he have his money, otherwise he was not going to appear.
I think I need to get my backpack.
Oh, okay. Well, did you get it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank God. Okay. Maybe we can clear this up right now. Really, honestly, embarrassing to be taken to task for this. I mean, we try not to let you in on the finances of the whole LangTime enterprise, but it's an enormously complicated thing.
I had some interest to pay too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I insisted on this. I mean, essentially, rent is due on the 22nd of the month, and since we're one day late, that's why we need the other, however many.
10p together.
Together, that's only 10p, huh?
Yeah, 2 5s.
This is a 5?
Yeah.
They're so cute and small.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I hope he accepts this.
Right.
Because
Why are you awake at 3:36 a.m.?
I hope he accepts this because now that I'm looking at this,
It's the Bank of Ireland.
Thank you, Jonathan.
I thought it was supposed to be Scotland. Oops.
I thought it was too. This is.
Well, this is really embarrassing.
Is it? Is it? Oh.
We're trying to pay rent with money from another country.
Well, not Ireland, because Ireland uses euros. I'm pretty sure this is from Northern Ireland, and now I'm beginning to understand why they wouldn't accept this in the rest of England.
The rest of England.
The rest of the UK. Well, anyway, what I'm going to do is I am just going to leave this here, and maybe if he's feeling charitable, Biblaridion will come and collect it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, there we are.
Now, in roughly 35 seconds, we'll see if Biblaridion is on screen.
This is not what you
The
said
shoulder.
it was going to be.
I mean, it's basically the same thing. Is there really a difference?
I mean, you said it was a Scottish note.
David has been so excited about bringing Scottish money to someone who could use it.
I'm not sure how you look at the word Bank of Ireland and read that as Scottish.
And I never opened
At
it up. I
Belfast,
should have
the
looked.
Bank of Ireland.
And Biblaridion is not at all on screen.
Not at all. No. Not at all. Okay.
How do you tell if you're on screen?
I'm
You
waiting.
can't from here.
I'm waiting to see. There we go. Half of Bib's face made it now. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Jonathan's like, disembodied voice over here. There we go. Now Biblaridion is full on in the shot.
There we go. So
David's completely out of it.
that's okay. Everybody knows what I look like. So it was truly my impression. This was not a joke. This is me being serious. I recalled having a £10 note from the Bank of Scotland from my trip to Edinburgh, because I did at one point. I think I must have been able to use it or change it for pounds, and then I've used it. This, of course, was from my stop off in Northern Ireland on my way to Belgium, where I just paid for myself to stop in Northern Ireland and stay in a hotel so I could visit the set of Game of Thrones while it was still airing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that was during season 8 when, due to a season 7 leak, they no longer allowed photography of any kind anywhere on the set. So there's no photos of me on the set of Game of Thrones. But I swear I was there. They actually they put a little photo booth in the office before you enter the set so that you could take photos in the photo booth that would say, like, you know, Game of Thrones season 8. And so, yeah, I have like a keepsake from there. I have a little 4-thing photo booth reel with a couple of people that I've been emailing with, for years working on the show. But no photo of me on the set. Anyway, so I stopped in Belfast. I was there for like maybe like a day and a half. And I must have taken this with me. And now it's yours.
I mean, I'll take it, I guess.
It's more likely to be used by you than me. Originally we had discussed, you exchanging it with me for like 10 pounds. I don't think I can really ask you to do that in good conscience anymore.
Well, I mean, you haven't paid your rent yet, so I'll take it.
Oh,
Okay, I swear I moved it again and it's not showing that
Goodness.
I moved it.
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, whatever.
Whole thing.
Well, here, if I could, well, this is
Just watching us listen to David.
yeah, we're
It's
gonna.
very important
This
that
is
we
what
get.
this is what we're going to do instead. I'm actually going to do this on the fly, but first I wanted to talk about the poll. The poll's in a dead heat, and technically the poll doesn't close for 3 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and let the poll run its course. We're not going to announce the poll results this time, but I want to let you know that I believe the poll is literally tied. So this is the time to go and vote for the correct option, because there is one. And it's one of the two that is tied. It's not the third option that has literally 0 votes.
Well, now you just made it so that one's going to get all the votes.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Oh, that'd be funny. Anyway.
Oh, Jake.
Oh,
Oh.
no. Anyways, go ahead and do that. And then what I am going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to change things. We're gonna do this on the fly. This will be a fun thing.
David is back.
Yeah.
The most important thing is that everyone can also vote in the non-binding poll for the Talabuba, which I haven't plugged yet.
Non-binding.
This is really smart to do non-binding polls.
Okay.
But go ahead and plug for it right now while David's doing something.
I'm gonna do.
So every Wednesday in the prime slot of the Combine Week, me and Miles have a little show which is basically ripping off David and Jesse, but with more up-to-date, obscure pop culture facts, and
Telling us out of date.
Wow.
Oh, it's also just like very gay. I think that's like a prime branding choice.
There we go.
And
Okay,
yeah,
yeah, I know.
we have actually democratized democracy by giving everyone a vote in the non-binding poll, and then kept the oligarchy system that keeps LangTime Studio in place by giving our patrons, who we love dearly, an extra vote.
Nice.
Oh, when they said that we're clipping, could it possibly have meant not that we were breaking up, but that we were blowing it out?
Maybe. And so, yeah,
Maybe I can
and then
just-
George's,
Oh,
because it's every now and then the
well-
whole microphone bar goes red.
Well, Bib was actually listening to us in a headphone. He said it sounded fine, and I'm like, who are you going to trust?
Yeah,
Bib or Jonathan? Anyway,
George.
this is what I would love for this is what I would love for you to try to do. I'm going to try to so we're going to put that on the screen. This needs to come back. I'm going to want you to get as close to me as you can. Maybe move that back.
Move mine back.
The one we already moved back.
We've been pushing it back to like.
Yeah, I know. And see if you can get a little bit closer. I want to try to get.
He said move it back, then get closer to each
No,
other, not
yeah,
to.
yeah.
Okay. Well, we're rubber.
Cozy.
We're rubber shouldering.
We are rubber
rubbing.
Oh, now I see what you were trying to. Okay. And then I'm going to put that there. Like, so you can see you're not even in the screen.
I don't know.
Oh, but
that way.
now
Probably. Oh wait, David, give me a high five. Give me a high
You're moving it the
five.
wrong way because I'm on the other side of you.
I'm moving it.
Because that's
now we
just
get to see it.
Oh my god!
now. There we go.
Yeah, but how is it doing that? It's like backwards.
But that's also why we did a high five, because we went
Yeah,
backwards.
yeah. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. How do I?
We think we did it, Jonathan.
Is it shift? Yeah, it's shift. Okay,
It was
wait,
a
no,
pretty
that's
poor
gonna-
excuse because
that's
I think
gonna-
the chat box was kind of
Yeah.
covering my hand a little bit,
Well,
but
actually, it
it was
doesn't matter
there.
if that
Oh,
thing's
well.
layered on top anyway. Okay, so now I'm gonna.
I feel like Jake and I are
Okay.
solid.
Okay. It's just gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. I need to move more this way. I need to move more that way, and then you need to move more this way. But yeah. All right. There we go. That is honestly, I think, as good as it's going to get. I'm going to move this up a little bit so that yeah. See.
Okay, now
Because now it looks like I'm the tallest.
try again, David.
Try what?
Let's see. Let's see if that shows up on screen. We're waiting. No. Oh man.
Weird.
No. All right.
Uh,
Vote Team Yellow. Yes. Yes, Charlie. All right. Here we go. Now
Okay.
we can.
What are we, Team Purple?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
are
Or
you?
team, what is our ambient color?
Because you're kind of.
black because of this.
I mean, I guess.
Oh, look at this. Corduroy pants.
And they're black.
Jeez, you are posh, sir. And I don't mean posh. What's the word I mean? Stylish.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, like it was the height of style in the 70s. Yeah, the corduroy.
Was it?
Yeah.
Retro?
I wasn't there, so
No.
I couldn't tell you.
No, I don't know.
That's
Okay.
right.
Anyway, that's all right. People are voting Team Yellow.
Yeah, and I can actually keep this up so that we can see us because the OBS view only has what's in the cameras. It doesn't have the screen, so we don't need to worry about that. So we can, So yeah, if we lean more towards this way, we'll be in there. All right, fantastic. All right, well now that we got that set, you want to close stream?
And I look like I'm peering over the edge of the hedge of the chat box. Hey!
That's actually one thing that we're missing. We're missing the chat there. Okay.
I see how you did your view. Right over my face.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. All right. So what are we going to talk about today, gang?
We're going to talk about how to make this bigger so that I don't have to. How do we do this? View. Can't
Zoom in.
That's it. I want to zoom. That didn't seem like it zoomed in. It seemed like it zoomed in for a second and then zoomed right back
Here,
out.
just a second. We're on this, right?
Yeah. Hold on.
Well, I was going to show you the keyboard
No,
cut
that's pretty good. It's pretty
because
good.
you
I got
can
it,
just
I
do
got it.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
See.
Can you read this? Can
Yeah.
you read the chat? All right. Fantastic. Good.
I bet Biblaridion was like I could read it before you zoomed in.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that was really all I had planned.
Was giving Biblaridion money that is not Scottish
Yeah.
for our £10 rent that is overdue now by
Yeah.
24 hours,
Yeah.
and getting cameras set up.
Yeah,
We did
honestly,
good. We
honestly.
did good.
Honestly, humiliating that I forgot that was Northern Ireland and not Scotland. Just devastating.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how you could get those mixed up.
Yeah, you're gonna be stuck with it now. You're gonna be stuck with it forever.
Well,
You should frame it.
Maybe Artifexian should be able to use it.
I don't think so.
If he crosses the board or if he knows
Oh.
someone on the border.
Yeah. It's not quite far away though. I think you're closer to Northern Ireland than he'd be.
Mm.
I thought he was in.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
By the way, how do we get him to watch? I know he's going to bed in 40 minutes, but that doesn't. There's no excuse for him not to be watching right now. How do we bring him up?
I have no idea.
Then can you send him a text message?
No, I don't have that kind of clout.
Oh,
He's in our Discord, isn't he?
I'm just going to say Artifexian. Did I spell it right?
no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
There we go. See, I just paged. I'm going to see if the page works.
Yeah. Well.
It works for Biblaridion sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just like type bib and
as far as I'm
then...
aware, he is not cursed like I am to a peer of people.
Oh. Oh, dang. All right. Okay, so I feel like we should talk about languages or something
Yeah.
while we have an audience
Well,
for LangTime Studio.
Here's what we should do. We should go one by one. We're going to be asking Jake something about Jake. This is going to be Jake on Jake.
Jake on Jake?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So Jesse.
I don't quite get the title.
Jesse, you start. No, it's Jake on Jake. So in other words, it's Jake's opinions and thoughts on the subject of Jake.
Well, I don't know. We haven't... On LangTime, exactly, Magpie. What? I don't know that Jake has told on LangTime an origin story about how they got into conlanging.
Yes.
In general.
And so, yeah, in general, Jake, I want the full origin story. But no, like
That's a
for
good idea.
conlanging,
Yeah.
I don't know that we've had it in this sphere.
But I feel like it's kind of it's a weird story to tell right now because, like, I've told David this before, but
Yeah.
in terms of like what I would consider not good conlanging, but conlanging that wasn't like in the field of language games.
Yeah.
It was
Sure.
from kind of watching a bunch of David's YouTube videos, reading the book, and then starting formal linguistics training. And then suddenly being like, oh, there's all these toys that I have to play with now that, like, I don't feel like... Quechua is a cool language in some ways, but it doesn't meet what most people's idea of, like, special indigenous American language has. If you're not going to consider it, like, polysynthetic or something, right?
It's got evidentiality.
Yeah, but it has like an evidential system that's real and useful and makes sense rather than some of the ones that you see. And I think it has some cool stuff, but most people aren't going to look past a Wikipedia page, right? But the big thing was that I did a course on Amazonian linguistics, and that was just, I guess it was very typological, which is kind of how I approach a lot of conlanging. But you get shown so much stuff in one of these kind of area courses, and you're just like, I want to do that. But with a bit more of the kind of formal training to actually execute it in a way where you're happy with it.
Nice. Yeah.
There
There we go.
So I guess that's one origin story. I guess it's also that I'm approaching it from like as someone who's studied a lot of natlangs, right? So I started learning Mandarin when I was 10, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Young.
Jeez.
So
10 years old.
yeah, I went to a class for adults at my local library on Saturday mornings.
Oh my gosh,
With
I
my
love
mum.
it. Oh, I love it. 10-year-old Jake.
A class
got
on
into
what?
Mandarin.
Oh, Mandarin, sorry.
Yeah. And so there were all these things that Mandarin did where when I got to my Spanish class and I was just like, oh, that's just the same as what English does in Mandarin. It's like that. and they're just like, what? And you tell like a modern foreign language teacher in the UK, like, oh, there's no agenda, there's not proper like verbal paradigms, there's no agreement, and they're like, Mandarin sounds like the easiest language ever. and then you go through all of the things that are excruciating to learn when you're starting, and like things like the correlative conjunctions, where you have to say since X because Y or whatever, and they go together. And like there's studies that show that if you miss out one of them, the conveyance of meaning is severely lower than if you just have both.
I always like that about like the 虽然 什么什么 但是什么什么 always like although blah 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 but blah 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 gives you like an extra chance.
And so when I was like starting Yatlao with Miles, like that was kind of the thing that kind of pushed it out, was that I had, because I think the first conlang that I properly was pleased with how I had done it was one of these classic like early conlangs with noun classes in a Bantu style that had that was prefixing, and I did all of the capitalization, and I look back on it and I'm like,
How's that classic?
I feel like lots of people do them.
Gosh, everybody's saying like lots of people do these things that they just don't do. Anyway, keep going.
I went through a phase of doing just Bantu style noun class languages.
It's not a thing, but it's not like a whatever.
But I think that everyone sees different groups, right? Like it feels right now that everyone's doing Australian style phonologies. But I think it's literally just a bunch of us are friends with Tethers who's done something really cool. And so to say that everyone's doing them is obviously a massive overstatement, but it feels like it. It's all perceptual, right?
Oh, Magpie's agreeing,
Yeah.
Third or fourth, but not like first. I don't know.
But I feel like in your book, it's so like, prominent.
What do you mean?
Like,
your love of noun classes.
Yeah.
You inspired a new wave of conlangers to do this thing that now they think everybody does because you inspired it. They are reading your book.
That seems unlikely.
It's unlikely that conlangers are reading your book and being inspired.
I would say so. Like, seriously?
Am I an outlier then?
That you were not inspired by David's book.
Well, here, wait.
Yeah, I read this and thought, this is all.
I'll have a story about that later.
Wait, we know that Biblaridion was inspired enough to like leave the country to go see you talk.
Was that after the book came out?
That was I got you to sign my book when I met you. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess it would have been after the book came out.
Probably
Yeah.
Probably should have been published before Biblaridion had you sign it.
Right,
yes.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, you've done. Wow.
By the way,
that's cool.
Just a random side note. I forget if I've told this before, but I tell you about the story about LCC5, and I mean, there's this was the one at Texas. This is where I met Jesse in person. But one of the other things that happened there was an attendee there who asked me if I would sign Mark Rosenfelder's language construction kit. Oh my God. I'm like, what? Why me? And he was like, well, you don't have a book, so I thought this was the closest. And I was like, oh, that was a moment for me. I was like, how humiliating. And so it was like, it wasn't as if that, inspired me to write The Art of Language Invention, because it was the result of a cold email. They were just asked me if I wanted to do it. But like, for me, this was a very pivotal moment, just being asked to sign Mark Rosenfelder's book. Somewhere out there is one copy of the language construction kit signed by me. So who knows? Maybe it'll be valuable one day. Anyway, so continue. You created this noun class language, which everybody does at the beginning of their conlang career because of me.
Yeah, and they all have too many classes, and I think that everyone obviously enjoys different parts of the process more than other people, but it's also like I've forgotten where I was going with that.
That's my fault.
I think that I remember it was that I don't think that grammaticalization matters to the beginner conlanger as much as it becomes important to, especially someone who follows your method, realizing that the cool thing isn't necessarily just the product, it's also the way that you get there, right? And I think that's something that I didn't necessarily pick up on until kind of watching LangTime Studios and seeing the process happen in different ways, different times. It's not just the phonology that matters, right? Whereas in terms of the thing that you have immediately to hand and can show people, a lot of that is phonology. That's how I felt about Pankashku. I knew that I wanted to do some grammatical stuff, but the biggest thing for me was that it wasn't going to sound un-Amazonian, because the whole point, if I wasn't going to show them what the Quechua would be to say, this is what an actual Amazonian language might sound like based on these typological features. And then, of course, they use English with some reverb on top. But anyway.
Yeah. That's not what an Amazonian language sounds like.
I mean, actually, everyone does speak English in their heads. It's just that it gets mixed up.
It does. It gets mixed up in between. I think there's an organ right here in some people, it's inside the cheekbone, really, where from here, English, and then here it gets garbled, obviously, and then it comes out the mouth, some other language. Yeah, that's how it works. You heard it here first. and I have Biblaridion, the biologist, here to back me up on this.
Linguist,
but a biologist. There's that organ there.
Yeah, that all checks out.
Science, it's just all the same. By the way, Aquamelon said, I just want to say Biblaridion gave advice in one Q&A saying make a conlang different from your other conlangs. So every one of my early conlangs had drastically different features from my others.
I would say, on the whole, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think so.
To try and vary your approach, because I personally have several times just gotten into the rut of doing, because I know what I like, and I have the tendency. It seems like a very obvious road to go down of just you do the things that you like, but if you do that, there's only really so many things you can do with it. So, when I got to Okolawak, that was the main design goal, is to do the opposite of what I would normally do. And I ended up liking the results a lot more than I thought I would.
Oh, very cool.
That's kind of, I don't know if I was doing it intentionally, but that was what I did early on. I mean, none of those languages were necessarily any good still, but they were all at least very different in approach. It's not like you have essentially one language, right? There's one language that wasn't good, and then the rest of yours are just stellar.
No.
I think what Biblaridion is saying, no, they're all good.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I was right off the bat. I knew exactly what I was doing.
That's it. I'm on board with
the moment I met you
Biblaridion.
and we shook hands, a portion of your vast conlang power was transferred to me.
Just right in.
And I just unlocked the inner secrets of linguistics inside my mind, and from then on I was just flawless.
And that was when
we're giving some good biology today.
Yeah, that was when I started to age.
Because you gave it all.
My first gray hair sprouted in that moment.
Yeah, gave it away.
No, actually, though.
But I gotta say though, Magpie made a comment about how that was essentially what the syntax class was claiming, and I'm so sorry because I remember seeing some things on Discord about what you were doing, and it's like, I'm so glad I'm done with those. That deep structure stuff.
Magpie is absolutely right that I am famous creator of the not in Madam Web.
That was not in Madam Web, yes. Yes.
Honestly, though, I mean, I think that's at least a wonderful thing because, and I know I've mentioned this before, but the second ever job that I was approached for was NOAA, and I was determined that it shouldn't go, to basically that the process for applying for this job shouldn't be like it was for Game of Thrones. So I designed the entire application process and ran it and put it out there, and I was very happy with it. But the result was exactly the same, which was Bill Weldon got the job. did great work, put together, something really good for it. They were happy with it, and then it was just the film comes out and it's completely gone, and then of course he wasn't credited. Now, to their credit, he knew about it before the movie came out. He didn't learn this by showing up in the theater. They essentially came to him and told him thank you so much for your work, but it's like we've reviewed things and we decided those scenes don't necessarily make sense, in the movie anymore, which it sucks, but at least they were upfront about it.
Yeah.
That was nice. But of course, at the time, nobody heard about that because that was, well before LTS. That was before I did anything with YouTube. And so really, nobody found out about it. It was also early days, so we didn't know what we could or couldn't talk about necessarily, what they would care about. So it's not like we were able to, spread the word, hey, Bill created this conlang for this movie, you don't hear it, but it was really cool. But this is at least nice. People know, People know.
Yeah, but I wasn't.
Yeah, but it's something. It might also help that it was Madam Web was very well known for the wrong reasons, but Noah came out and it was it wasn't like people said it was the best movie ever, but it wasn't like people said it was the worst movie ever. So it just kind of faded.
I was going to say I don't think anyone talked about it really.
But I think immediately.
Some of the languages that we have more famously cut, it's because the person who made them is more well known. Whereas I think if this had been in it, it would have been a moment. Most people aren't going to watch the credits to where my name would have been if it was even on there, but it would have been quite a big thing for me as at the point that I got it, just an undergrad student, essentially. An undergrad student with a very specific set of skills.
That does sound like Liam Neeson now. I have a very specific set of skills.
No, because I was I tried to get one of my Peruvian friends who had a whole linguistics degree and was Peruvian and part indigenous on board as well.
Yeah.
Because I was this is seeming kind of dodgy. And in the end, she was just I don't think I can do this because I'm not a conlanger, which we wish more people had that approach to conlang.
Good point, Jake.
Oh my.
And also, hi Minnie.
Hi Minnie.
Woo!
But yeah, it meant that I read the two whole grammars, which actually doesn't sound like that much when I say it like that. But these are brick tomes from two kind of extreme ends of the Peruvian Amazon. Because it says the heart of the Peruvian Amazon, but the Peruvian Amazon is the periphery of the Amazon.
It's the heart of the periphery.
Yeah.
The periphery in the middle bit, that's the heart.
Yeah.
I hear the periphery, the heart is actually the top. It moves depending on where you are.
It's a mobile heart.
It's a moving target.
I've studied a lot of biology. I think I could speak with some authority on this. The hearts of things can actually be in different places, sometimes quite near the skin, the skinnal area towards in the upper dermis.
I gotta say,
in cephalopods it kind of is. They've got two gill hearts that are near the exterior,
just in case,
primary heart in the middle.
Now, Biblaridian's being honest, but just in case anyone's joining in and doesn't know our particular brand of sarcasm, there is no organ in the cheekbone that garbles language. That's false. People do not think in English.
I've
learning something new.
I've never thought in English my whole life.
Jake's never. And David's heart theory is also not true. I just wanted to say this because I don't want someone taking a clip of us saying and then being like, "Whoa, the
People
LangTime
using
Studio,
things
they
people said
think
out of context.
Yeah.
No one's ever said.
never."
Yeah, they wouldn't. They'd take my
You're right, Patrick.
my cardiovascular facts and spread them like wild.
Yes. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure I got that out there, just in case we needed.
How very responsible of you. Now let's talk more nonsense.
Okay, nonsense. Did you cut Jake off? Was Jake still
little bit.
talking?
Yeah.
No, I can't remember what I was saying.
Yeah.
That's what David does.
It's probably very important, and you should feel ashamed of yourself.
I think so. Well,
We're
look.
talking about the heart of the periphery of the Amazon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Aquamelon is going to show the heart clip to their mom, who's a cardiologist.
I think it's a cardiologist. Maybe you just misspelled it. Anyway.
Like the whole thing. Like I really don't. Like I'm really appreciative that I got the position, but I literally the thing I did before I did the language for them was to write out this whole thing about all the options they had, and then they picked the one that they were going to do at the beginning anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's like I at least for me, I think it's nice that people know about your work, since they wouldn't know about it any other way.
But I mean, I'd rather people know about your cloud, to be honest.
Well, the thing is, they're more likely to go take a look at it now.
Yeah.
You know. Speaking of Yatlao, I think all of us are wondering, really all of us in the LangTime community, why Miles?
Jonathan was busy on Wednesdays.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
Anyway, though, but that is I have to say, that's really cool that you're able to forge this collaboration, despite the fact that you're many time zones apart. You know, it seems like it's like, you know, it could be called an unconvenient stream. Inconvenient.
Inconvenient.
Right.
It's non-convenient.
Yeah, it doesn't convene. The stream that doesn't convene.
Famously, the quality of the stream improves the closer we are to each other.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why this is the best stream that we've had so far.
Yeah, there we are. Yeah. But it's honestly, it's too bad that Miles, you know, couldn't join us. And I really fault him for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say. I'm just going to say it's an absolute shame.
Leaving his job anyway, why would he even bother showing up?
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
And Dinonet is correcting us, convenient.
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
No. So, no, unconvenient means not convenient. Convenient means having no opinion about the convenience. Mm. Yeah. And you can also share that with your cardiologist mother.
Well, no, Patrick is pointing out that it's called cardiologist because they print out facts on cards to study for their heart tests. It's a cardiologist.
All right.
We're learning all the good things today on this stream. I do love it.
The heart has 4 chambers because the basement doesn't count as a chamber. Yes.
Love it. There's no calorie.
No. All right. So I did want to mention this. I was actually going to just mention this to you privately, but might as well just humiliate myself on the stream.
Are you immediately worried?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
You should be. But no, I remember, many of us, like if you go back, kind of heard tell of Biblaridion. Plenty of you, I'm sure, came to his videos from YouTube. But those of us that just didn't frequent YouTube just heard stories of Biblaridion mentioned in other venues, whether it was on Facebook at the time, or Reddit, or Twitter, the old social network, places like that. And I remember once there was a Reddit post about a new Conlang showcase. But which one was it?
It was probably Nakashi, if it's the one I'm thinking of.
It may have been. I don't think it was the first. So, was that the first?
Nakashi was the second one I did.
And that was in like 2019, right?
No, it was much earlier than that.
2019 sounds right.
I think it is because I wrote a citation for it.
You've got to be kidding me. It had to be earlier than that.
It's one of my works cited.
Oh, blimey.
I feel like looking it up, but in the interest of time, I won't. Anyway.
Sorry, you didn't get a citation, just a name.
And
That's
so
what I am to you.
whatever it was, right? Like I looked this up because there are like, man, look at this new video by Biblaridion. They described it as God tier conlanging.
I distinctly remember that.
Okay,
As
that was
God
it.
tier?
Yes, that was it. That was it.
We are walking amongst the God today.
So,
well, according to some.
Yeah. Naturally, I was immediately offended because this is my type of personality. And so I was like, fine, I'll have to. First of all, I was annoyed because this was, of course, YouTube, which it was like, God, I'm going to have to watch a video. And then I go and look it up, and I see how long the video is, and I'm like, are you serious?
20 whole minutes.
I miss the days when I could get away with 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Now it's just like 20 minutes of ads, then, the rest of the video.
Tell me about it.
But yeah, like, I was like, God, I'm going to have to look at this. Anyway, so I actually started watching the video, which was enough, let me tell you, to watch a video on YouTube. My word. Anyway. But like, I'm looking at this, grumbling to myself, who is this Biblaridion person? And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. And then I think it was around like kind of the sound change morphology section. I was like, wait a minute, this is familiar. And like we've got a fly with us. If you see the fly and take a screenshot and send it to the LangTime Studio social media, you can win half of a T-shirt. Anyway, anyway, I was like, this is starting to look familiar, and I was like, I did like almost that exact same thing in Castathin, and I was like saying this like I did that in some other language, and I was like looking at this like this is weird. It's like this person has studied me. Like, what the hell?
Did it come across as that much of a rip-off?
No. That was the thing. It wasn't like, copy. It was just like, no, this is looking familiar. But for all this stuff was like really well done and really well implemented. But it was just eerily familiar, certain things. And so I was like,
Magpie's correct. You do mean Biblaridion.
Oh God, Biblaridion.
Because you did not read Biblaridian's name.
That's a separate humiliation that, of course, you all know about. But I can't believe it took me that long. It's really embarrassing. But yeah, I was like, this is so weird because I feel like this person has actually studied my work without ever making reference to me. It's like. And now they've essentially come to usurp me,
and make it better.
Yeah, which they, I mean, and of course, you already had in the eyes of most, and so it really, really, really caught me off guard when we had this video chat about you coming to participate in CopyCon, and you pulled out that we had already met.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what?
It was. Like, his brain just absolutely melted that day. And, like, it was so funny because it's like he wouldn't believe it. And then, like, I think you sent the picture, and it was a whole thing.
I don't know why I never twigged that would be, like, a thing to bring up. I just thought,
that's awesome.
We met.
Yeah.
It was a thing.
It
was very cool.
Absolutely couldn't believe it. I was astounded. Because... frankly, just your, appearance onto YouTube, it kind of like felt like you dropped like a comet out of the ether. Something akin, and actually, I think if there's anything close to this, it would be John Quijada's reveal of Ithquil. Because he wasn't like really a part of the community or anything before that. He'd finished the website and said like, well, I guess now that I have something finished, I can introduce that. So his introduction was, here is Ithquil. Which was
bombshell.
Yeah.
And also, Davide is saying that they just finished watching Biblaridion's last video.
Oh God.
Made them cry. It was so good.
Made me cry for how good it was.
It made me cry too, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
Giving Bib some love here.
Anyway, so anyway, like I had to work through some emotions, you know, to get to where we are today.
Well, I distinctly remember.
Yeah.
Because I saw someone sent me that post, and in the title the person had said, "Oh, this is God tier conlanging."
Yeah.
And the first comment I saw was from someone who said, "If anything, there should just be considered standard tier conlanging." And I thought, oh man, well, who's this person? It's just some random. You can't take criticism from any random person you come across. And then I saw the username, and I wasn't quite sure how to react to that.
But the thing is, it was true, and I stand by the comment. And hold on. Let me explain. I wasn't saying that your work wasn't good. I was saying, like, basically, and yes, this is going to come off as quite rude, but not to you. I was like, if this is God tier conlanging to you, what the hell are you doing? That was how I meant it.
I'm so sorry. Definitely not God tier. Nakashi has some serious problems that need fixing at some point.
Oh, I'm sure it just needs a coat of paint.
We killed everybody's sound systems with the laugh. So sorry, everyone.
I'm so sorry.
So sorry. But that, oh my God.
Very sorry. Anyway.
That's David.
But I did learn a lot from, like, my first main thing, that because I'd already started work on my first terrible conlang when I came across your stuff. And reading through your web pages about all your various conlangs, especially Xyla, was a very big help.
Yeah, Xyla, of course.
Xyla. Xyla and Kamakawai.
I say Xyler. Kamakawai. Kamakawai. I am now never saying it the same way again.
Xyla, I always just read, for some reason, that was just the first impression I got, was just Xyla, and in my head to this day it's still Xyla.
Jular.
Jular. Oh my God.
And that's a noun class language. That's got a Banshee style.
Sure is. Sure does.
Kamakawai.
Kamakawai. Good.
I've already said it wrong. Kamakawai. Oh my God, I love it.
Whoa.
That's amazing.
Kind of a sidebar, but why is it that most English speakers see ZH and just say ZA?
Because they don't know how to interpret that.
Why not? S is to SH, a Z is to ZH. Very simple.
But people don't know that.
Chronologically like that. They just think that H a lot of the time is just silent, and so they just skip over it.
It drives me nuts, because you see this all the time, like especially when you turn on the subtitles, because you don't know otherwise unless you turn on the subtitles, of just people pronouncing Chinese names with ZH in English. Because it's like, if you just hear them, you just think, okay, his Admiral Zhao, and his name must be Admiral Zhao. And then it was like, wait a minute, there's an H here. Why are you just mispronouncing it?
Well, it's not pronounced zhe in Chinese either.
No, but like the English pronunciation is what I'm saying. Like the English version of it. So like, of course, you're not going to say it like with the tone, with the exact consonants, but the closest English approximation to the Chinese is certainly not Zhao.
No.
True.
Yeah. Anyway, what I learned is that there was a sound change, essentially, that I went to Z after sibilance.
I disagree with that. Maybe in some regional pronunciation, but like S is still very much, it's a high central vowel.
Maybe it's
not.
S.
Well, I think that I would describe it as a syllabic approximant. Like
yeah.
Sure. I guess it's kind of rhotic in some.
Like when you say like day, you don't change your tongue position at all. It's
Yeah, in that case, that definitely feels just like a single syllabic consonant.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure when I learned this, which was I'm pretty sure it was the spring of 2002. It was a specific dialect of Chinese, where allegedly this was the actual phonetic realization. So it was.
That is how some people transcribe it, but it's not like, because there are various degrees of frication on the vowel itself. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't understand why pinyin works the way it does.
I don't think anybody does.
It makes sense.
Does it?
Like, as someone who's grown up for most of their life now using it, it makes sense as a representation of the sounds of Chinese for people who know how Chinese works. In where you need to know how to divide the syllables and what corresponds to what in certain dialects, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that was put into pinyin that wasn't designed for English speakers to use it well, because it's not a conlang. It's like it's a way of transcribing a natural language, right? Which it doesn't mean that people should use pinyin as an example for their conlangs at all. But I think when people don't like pinyin, they don't necessarily appreciate, if you're not a Chinese user, quite why it is the way it is. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Is that the sound of disagreement?
Oh, no.
That's just David.
Yeah, that's just me. I felt the need to vocalize there. Yeah.
It comes out as little growls.
Actually, 东北话. They have a lot of what they call arhar. So
That's amazing.
I call the Beijing dialect the pirate dialect because they just put an R at the end. Like the word for girl is nihai, but in Beijing it's nihar.
Yeah.
Wow.
My teacher was from Beijing, so I was taught it with that.
Now, I learned Mandarin because I was going to be living with a Chinese family for a bit, and it was only after I met them that I learned that they spoke Shanghainese, which is basically a completely different language.
Oh, dang.
It was, we managed to get some conversations in, but yeah, it was rough.
Wow.
Shanghainese is they've merged all of their sibilants into just one, just s sound.
Ooh.
And
Well, that's
that
convenient.
destroys so many distinctions. So there was one afternoon where we were right on the Thames, and I never actually learned her name because you're not supposed to refer to your elders by their first names, so I just called her Ai, which is aunt.
Oh, wow.
So Ai was there, and she looked out the window, and it was kind of cloudy, and she said, I forget the exact way the pronunciation was realised, but something along the lines of Sayuma, and because of her accent, I thought she said Shayuma, which means, is that a shark? So, there's a shark in the Thames, and I got really excited. What the hell are you doing? And then after talking with her more, she was saying Shayuma, which is it raining?
Yeah.
So no shark. Man.
Well, that's what happened to me, because we have so many Malaysian Chinese speakers in the UK who they've learned Putonghar, like standard Chinese, but with a southern accent, because they're mostly from the diaspora, from the southern regions. And I would be trying all of my retroflex consonants, and that just doesn't happen in these communities. And so for them, they'd be like, why are we using a ZH? It's clearly just a Z. Yeah.
Wow. This kind of correlates. You see Ragdoll saying, talking about her, it looks like half Japanese, half Filipino ex-stepsister.
Sorry.
But it's so it's pinionized with the ZH, but she said it was pronounced Z. It must be from that, yeah?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, I was just making the contention. I have no opinion on this, and certainly no authority.
No, it's more because I'm reading everything else, and what George is saying. I remember I was at a Chinese restaurant in Chinatown with a friend from Sichuan, and Sichuan dialect has the R sounding like a Z.
Nice man.
Read me. And I ordered him my Beijing style. Yeah. It's I can't help myself. Anyway, and they were like, "Oh, I'm not too bad," and so they replied to me in Sichuan dialect, and I was completely lost. And I just remember that rather than saying urban, they said ziben for Japan.
Because you get a lot of the times that zhi is kind of roboticized in standard Mandarin, or at least in northern dialects. It can. Trying to think of an example now, and nothing's coming to mind. But I've definitely heard people say instead of zhi, they'll say zhi.
This is kind of an interesting question. I assume if it's being asked the way that I assume it's being asked, in other words, about Chinese, not about common language, you have to change a word due to the way that the sound change affected it.
One time.
Oh.
That immediately comes to mind.
Ooh.
If I'm interpreting this question properly, let me just read it properly. Did you ever have to change a word due to the way a sound change affected it? I mean, there was an earlier version of Adun in which completely, it was not my design at all, but the phrase that came to mean thank you in the modern language, running it through the sound changes, came out as Brexit. And I did not stand for that, so I had to change it.
But in this case,
That's
Brexit
amazing.
didn't mean Brexit. Brexit didn't mean Brexit because it was a different word.
Well, yes, but it's the incidental similarity.
Yeah, I don't want people going around saying Brexit to each other. Just say thank you.
Yeah.
Fair point.
It'd be kind of like if you were, say, designing a language called Esperanto and realized that how are you doing was kiel vi fartas.
Thank you, Jason.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, you know, a joke by Jake is called a Jake.
Wow, David.
I love our shared sense of humor.
Yeah.
Exactly, Manny. We're getting the blow by blow.
Yeah. All right. I think that it might be time for a little treat.
They were in the box, weren't they? So,
Oh, I assumed that you had me covered. Did you not have me covered?
no.
Oh.
Because you packed them in the box.
Then I guess we're going to have to do a different type
But
of treat.
just second.
Yeah?
I have something over here.
You do?
Well, I have one thing.
Okay. You have one thing.
I
All right.
do.
All right. I probably have the rest. But it is time for Jake Tries Stuff from America.
Chicharrones.
First,
Oh God, this is going to be so loud. We should turn down the mic so hardcore.
We're just going to try not to touch it. But anyway, the first are chicharrones, which I don't know how you would call it in English because I don't think I've ever heard it like
Scratchings.
Okay, no. Pork rinds in English, but how would you say chicharrones? How does that get anglified?
Chicharrones.
Chicharrones.
Huh?
It's just chicharrones.
Chicharrones?
Yeah, chicharrones.
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 Yes, exactly.
All right. Okay, so this is.
Oh wait, I added an
This
extra
is just step one on the tour. And so what we're going to do here is I'm going to hand this carefully to Jake. Jake is going to take it out of the room, open it up, and maybe come back with a few.
So that way it's not so loud. Sorry everyone, we're trying not to overpower. It's still, it's a loud bag.
Yeah.
But it's in the other room.
Jonathan's already unsubscribed, so don't worry.
Jonathan's out.
Yeah. Anyway, and you can try some of these too if you can't or have you.
I can't immediately recall. I think I might have at some point, but I'm happy to try them again.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, that was so loud, and Jake was in a totally different room. Like, that bag was just really made for awfulness.
So these, I guess, so they're just pork rinds, but this is, so chicharrones specifically Mexican, so this is the one I got. Anyway, yeah, so anime fan, we may have actually forgotten the cookie dough.
Which is so sad because we packed a whole bunch of Kopiko,
Yeah.
thinking we would need extras for today.
Yeah.
And but they're in the game box.
Yeah, they're in the game box.
Which means we'll have Kopiko on Sunday when we have a game day.
Yeah. All right, Jesse, what are you gonna do?
Oh,
All right.
That was a big one. There we go.
All right. All for one
Cheers.
and
Cheers. Cheers.
off camera the way it should be.
Yeah, that's a pork rind.
Yep, that tastes the way I remember it.
Oh, very good.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Little kick at the end.
Yeah.
Got the caliente
Mm-hmm.
chicharrones.
Yeah. Except it's trilled because it's a double R.
Chicharrones.
Chicharrones. Mm-hmm.
There we go. How is it, Jake?
Trying not to make a lot of noise.
But we need to know how you feel about it.
Thank you for trying to preserve the integrity of the stream. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Something about Let's Have a Booba that I could bring to this production.
Ouch.
We're a stream that doesn't have weird mouth noises halfway through.
This is true. This is true.
Like, I feel like it's a worse prawn cracker.
A worse what?
Ooh.
Prawn cracker.
It's got
Oh.
a prawn cracker sort of vibe. to
Texture,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Those are relatively new for being common, at least in our part of the U.S.
We get them free with Chinese takeaway food.
Really?
Yeah.
Are those like those shrimp chips that you got from the store and
Yeah.
you brought home?
Yeah.
Wait.
They call shrimp prawns because they don't distinguish the prawn from the shrimp.
Okay.
But are those shrimp chips like Korean or Japanese, or are they like the fried airy stuff like this?
It was puffy like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because there are also shrimp flavored, like what I would call crisps.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But like there's, especially here, there's everything flavored crisps.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We only get the tail end of that in the U.S. And even then, they're usually like limited time things. And it's like every time I see a chip, it's like, oh my gosh, this is really weird. Then you go to Britain and it's like, this is flavored like carpet.
We had Cajun squirrel flavored crisps.
Cajun squirrel.
See,
Yeah.
it just sounds
Well,
fake.
that one I'm not.
It sounds absolutely
It
fake.
was for a competition from Walker's.
Cajun squirrel.
Yeah, there were 5 random flavors that they introduced temporarily, and people had to send in a picture of what they would have on the front. So obviously, Cajun squirrel did very well from the visual
Wow.
aspect.
Wow.
I fully expect to like walk into a I think maybe we're talking about the wrong things here, because I don't know, they're super common now. Like you can get the shrimp trips at Costco. That's what I'm talking about. Not like you could have always gotten them at the Dalet, but I'm talking about like in
Just being regularly available to any store you go to.
Yeah, that's a very new thing. But anyway, so what was it? Okay, there was this, right? I think I missed something key. It's a Vietnamese supermarket. I actually got the shrimp chips, the first ones. I got those at the H Mart, which is the Korean supermarket on Garden Grove Boulevard. I, oddly enough, because of a comment of my sister's, my mother decided to go to the H Mart, and that was when she got hit in the car.
Oh yeah, car accident.
Yeah.
So you're weaving together 4 different stories though that I understand because I have the background.
So just for clarity,
Yes.
Dalit is the name of the Vietnamese supermarket.
Yeah, Dalat. Yeah.
Okay, because I thought you meant from like a untouchable Indian.
No.
I thought you meant from the 4th letter of the Hebrew abjad.
No, and of course it would be.
What did you think?
Well, I'm sorry. I should.
I knew that David
There's
meant
3
this
kinds
store.
of people.
I should have said Dalat, Dalat.
Babe, that doesn't help if they don't know.
It's the implosive.
No.
But it still doesn't help if they don't know it's a store, because they're just going to try to assign the closest meaning in their mind to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
So anywho, I followed not because I knew the store name, but because I know how David talks a little bit better now.
Yeah. You know me a little bit better now.
A little bit.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
She's
I thought it
still
was
around.
some sort of instrument like mayonnaise.
No.
I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
Wait, I use mayonnaise as an instrument.
Oh, I
No,
remember.
Minnie, mayonnaise is not an instrument. Horseradish is not an instrument either.
Biblaridion is in.
The
with more
biologist
news.
has confirmed.
Yeah, someone had
Oh.
to get that.
It was a
Oh,
SpongeBob
SpongeBob.
joke.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Even I know
Sorry.
that one.
I've never seen an episode of SpongeBob.
I have, but I don't remember the mayonnaise instrument joke, so it went over my head.
Yeah.
Mm.
By the way, regarding flavored chips, I expect to go into like a Tesco or something and see like, oh, here's a bag of crisps flavored like animosity. That's the kind of.
Oh, like Monster Munch. Very popular pickled onion flavored chip.
That is the kind of like weird stuff when it comes to like potato chip flavoring that I expect here in Britain. Like you always outstrip us in that. We're well behind you in terms of potato chip flavorings. But we do have other stuff. And so if you could get for me behind you, just turn slightly and then get
And
my
grab the
bag
bag.
there.
It should be lighter now, because there's no backpack.
Yeah. We have a variety of delights for you to try.
Not all on stream, though, because some of them...
No, indeed. Here, in fact, I'll get one of the things you requested, and I hope that you're excited about this.
Oh my god!
Jake asked for navy beans. These are they. And so here are a whole bunch of organic navy beans from Sprouts.
These look nothing like cannellini beans.
Eh,
Well, they do look.
They're small.
They look like beans, but yeah.
yeah.
I can see why you would have these in soup now.
Good question, Jonathan. Let me answer that question in exactly the way that Jake told it to me. Since you and all the rest of you pay attention to this stream, apparently Jake was interested in trying navy beans because I talk about them all the time. Does this jibe with your experience, people who watch this stream? Am I just always talking about navy beans, going on and on about navy beans?
Well, now you are.
The navy bean soup.
It's a great soup. I don't deny it.
Mike, right, we don't have navy beans here.
Never even heard of a navy bean.
No.
Oh, my goodness. Well, now you have, and you've seen them in dry form.
I just assumed it was.
Jonathan, you
I just
have
assumed it was a very
betrayed
name.
me. You've absolutely betrayed me.
Yeah.
I think it's probably also that if navy beans aren't unusual to you, you're not going to think that they come up a lot. But every time I hear navy bean, I imagined that these were blue.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. I'm sorely disappointed.
Mhm.
These are just white
Oh.
beans.
Yeah, and ragdoll is also, like saying what are navy beans. So it's like,
Yeah.
this is, again, it's a culinary difference. And so
I think Minnie's comment is probably the
it's
best.
spot on.
So she says no, but if you told me that David once talked at length about navy beans, I
Yeah.
would automatically believe it.
Yeah.
So probably, yeah. Anyway, so obviously they're not prepared, but hopefully you can make something with them now and enjoy them and see if you like them. I really like the flavor, very rich, a rich flavor. And frankly, I just assumed that this was just an American name for a bean that you had. I guess it isn't. Because, sometimes beans have like different names, like lima beans, garbanzo beans are called chickpeas,
Yeah.
And so it's just like, whatever, it's the same thing, a different name. I just assumed that was the case with navy beans. Apparently not.
No.
I'm not the right person to ask about such things.
It has to do with science, so I assume you know about it.
I did one course in plant anatomy, but
Doesn't that count as biology? It bros.
technically, but
There you are, science of life, that's you. You should be an expert on beans.
no, I was much more into skinology when I was in school.
Patrick
Think
says
of skinethesiology.
other names are maybe haricot bean, pearl haricot, haricot, haricot.
In
That just
our
means
glorious nation that is so close to France, we say haricot.
Haricot. There we go.
Yeah.
Boston bean and white pea bean, or just pea bean is potentially. But if you said pea bean to me, I would be thinking you probably meant black-eyed pea instead, and I would probably be a little bit confused.
So Boston beans are navy beans because Boston was famous
Yeah.
for beans.
Well,
Navy
and
bean.
it was
I can
also
understand why now.
it
I
was
understand why.
it was the bean in the Senate bean soup, which Jonathan
Yep.
pointed out. But I also think maybe Jonathan hadn't heard of it because
Yeah.
there's lots of question marks. But yeah, that was a thing, and it's effectively like a white bean soup with some meat, like ham hock kind of flavoring, and so
Yeah, we talked about Senate bean soup at least at
least
Copycon.
once, yeah.
Yeah, that probably also skews my perception of the navy bean obsession.
Yeah, probably.
Well, but see now the Senate bean soup. Now that's something that's really interesting. This special soup that's only served at the United States Senate. But also you could go and get it. Like you can see why I would be excited about that. It's not necessarily about the beans. It's about the dish. Like it could have been anything. We could talk about like a special pizza that was served at the United States Senate and has been since the 1800s. I would be excited about that.
Hey, Carl.
Hi, Carl.
Oh,
Hello.
hey, Carl. How's it going? All right.
All right. So next up,
Moving on. Something else that you can't eat right now.
the Notebook.
No.
Yeah, there you are. Let me see.
Digging through.
Where did it get?
I'm a little bit worried that this elbow is just gonna whack me in
Should
the
I
cheekbone.
YouTube this?
Oh,
These are the beans. They're very small. I don't think this is going to go well, but anyway.
yeah. Okay, here we go. For you to make later, we have some ranch dressing. Extremely common in the United States. I assumed it was everywhere. Apparently, it is not. People swear by this. I, of course, have never been a fan of any kind of salad dressing at all. And when I eat salads, I prefer to have no dressing on them whatsoever. So, of course, ranch dressing was not something I was excited about. It was just looked like white goop to me. Once I had it on a chicken sandwich, I was like, okay, I see the appeal. But even so, it's a little much for me. But yeah, you can now make this up and make yourself a real American salad.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And of course, we had to bring this kind where you have to make it because we couldn't really travel with a large bottle.
I love
of
the flavor
liquids.
of maltodextrin.
That is a unique flavor, Jake, and that
So
is
American.
what gives it its edge,
Yeah.
really. And so there you have it.
Yeah, that and the calcium lactate. Just
That sort of fortifies it, and so there are reasons. This is, yes, Americans eat lists of chemicals. What does the rest of the world eat?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
There we go. It's all chemicals anyway.
Since
And he
Brexit,
knows
we're
science.
freed from the EU regulations that stopped us from eating these chemicals. So now we can eat as many chemicals as we want.
Good.
There you
We
go.
brought them for you
Yeah, thank you.
in a powdered packet.
I love how in some places in America, like at restaurants, when they have a little packet of salt, they say chemical-free on them. It's chemical-free salt. There better not be any salt in this salt.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Oh, you can see Patrick saying maybe tonight I will get a pizza and try some ranch on it. Yeah, that's a common thing. I'm actually surprised Patrick hasn't heard of it. Jonathan, too. Seriously? You've never seen people dipping pizza in ranch dressing? I've seen it.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it, but
I know all the American
Yeah, I know.
customs
Yeah.
from the TV.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So next on our list, now I didn't get you the one that I wanted because it didn't come in a reasonable size. So I got you the backup. We have...
Another loud bag. God, David.
Very sorry. I just wanted... Okay. Takis. Fuego.
Surely the accent means it's takis.
No.
I'm joking.
No, that's not an accent.
That's a spiral dot on the I.
Apparently, I didn't realize this. Takis is short for taquitos. I didn't know that. But this is not the version that I wanted you to be able to try. It is, yeah, I know. Enjoy, Patrick. You can see it, but I'm going to pull up an image like on the phone and then like hold it up real close. I wanted to get you the blue ones, but they only came in huge sizes.
I now understand the text you sent me that night. David was at the store getting the snacks that would be packed, and David suddenly out of nowhere texted me, "Oh darn, they only have the big bags. I guess I'll have to find a small one." Yeah. And I was like, "What?" Now I get it. You were trying to get the blue Takis.
Yep. Takis Blue Heat. There we go. Yeah. That is what I wanted to get you. That is the real American experience. But yeah.
I've never even heard of this thing.
Yeah, I can imagine. You can go ahead and try those. I am going to pass.
Will I open them off?
Off camera, as far away, because it's going to be loud again.
Yeah, put them in the pork rind bowl. It'll be fine.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Close your ears now.
Yeah, Jonathan, I also am not a fan of Takis, and I feel like it's a younger generation thing, because like people your sister's
my
age,
my sister loves them.
They are, just take one and be ready.
Yeah.
And if you're not a spice person.
Oh boy.
Are you a spice person?
Generally no, but I'm willing to try. I will try.
There's a tiny one. There's a tiny one.
There's a little one. That will give you the flavor of the bird, so to speak.
Okay, and many students request Takis.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like, I feel like it's I don't know.
It's quite nice.
Oh my goodness.
Really?
You are a young person.
God, we're finding out how old we are.
I know.
Because I always felt like it was just like a more abrasive Dorito, and I'd rather have the Dorito where I can get the corn flavor a little bit.
Yeah, like.
These do taste of corn.
Yeah, like I feel like, especially with really younger people, that my entire life is just that meme where I'm crying and be like, gosh, you can't eat something like, that rolled up taco chip that's just, caked in blue stuff. And they're all like, hey, Takis go brr. Anyway.
Right, go on, Jonathan. Aioli is naturally vegan because it should just be olive oil and garlic. The one that's more like a garlic mayonnaise is a fake aioli made by people trying to undermine the Catalan culture and language. And I don't want to support that at all.
I also want to point out that aioli is David's book. And it too is vegan.
Oh, so back during Twitter, right, I had a TweetDeck where you could have like different columns that had different things that you would follow. And so, I followed the hashtag AOLI, just in case anybody was talking about the art of language invention. And what I found, there are thousands of people who don't know how aioli is spelled.
And so talking about aioli, David's book.
And but they were very excited to hashtag it. That's like, and it was always accompanied by a picture. It's like, this aioli is bomb. Hashtag AOLI.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. Anyway, I think I would say once every 6.5 months, somebody made a tweet about the art of language invention that had a hashtag AOLI. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. Otherwise, sometimes it just kind of made me vaguely hungry to follow that one. All right, so then...
I think the best thing...
Yeah, go ahead.
Your book, because I had assigned your book in my class, and one of my students, if you recall, somehow got a misprint. And so there were 40 pages of the book that were missing.
That's right.
And so what had happened was, I guess, because they come in like 8-page spreads through the printer.
Yeah.
And there must have been 5 of them that did this, got stuck together or something. So like, I don't know, it's like page 142 to 182 was just repeated. And so the next 40 pages were just gone from the book. Because it was the same length. So if you look at the thickness of it, everything's fine. But she's in the middle of reading a chapter and suddenly she turns the page and it starts over again and she's like, what's happening? And so she keeps going through and looks at the page numbers at the bottom, and she's like, oh my God, these are like the same 40 pages that were just over here. And so anyway, got a misprint. So she had you actually sign it because she's pretty sure it's going to be a collector's edition someday.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, so that happened. But that just made me think of that, because I did use hashtag aioli in my class to help students find, and that's when I found out that people did the hashtag wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
That was just a long form anime version of it, where it's like, you're like, I swear I've read this before. Is this really a new episode? You know.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. And so last, but definitely not least, I wanted to give you at least, something nice to eat at the very end.
As opposed to everything else.
Yeah.
Everything else is just what's American that we can take that's not liquid.
Yeah. Oh, it must
Where
be.
did you put it?
American soda?
Oh, well, I mean, we couldn't.
Oh, Miles, we
couldn't bring
did
liquid.
not
Wait.
plan.
Wait.
We did not, no, but
So I am wearing what I would describe as Jessie merch rather than LTS merch.
and I've got the Copicon merch.
Oh, give me a second. Oh.
Where did you put it? Did you put it in the box that was left behind?
No. Because I just saw it.
I've still got
Oh!
my little name card. I got the mouse.
Do you want me to search while you're...
I also got the mouse.
In your case, it was because you voted for the mouse. Yeah?
It was,
Yeah.
so for patrons, it was whatever animal you said was your favorite from the LangTime universe. And so that was why you got it. But then all the speakers got mice. And so yours is a singing mouse.
By the way,
Automatically.
in honor of Minnie, here, have some gin-gins.
Wasn't that
Oh, I thought
Ragdoll,
those were
actually?
warheads for
Oh, you mean
a second.
Ragdoll?
Ragdoll.
Ragdoll. It was Ragdoll?
Yeah, it was Ragdoll who liked the gin-gins
Really?
and got us to try them. Yeah, Ragdoll.
But, Minnie, don't you like ginger candy too? But don't try that one yet. Don't try it yet, because you have something else to try first.
Ooh.
Oh,
Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger. There you go.
Now that I have had before.
Yeah,
There we
that's
go.
good stuff.
Minnie doesn't even like ginger candy.
Oh, snap.
I'm really pleased that I've got it very clearly that David's not allergic to peanuts now.
Yeah, no, not allergic to peanuts.
Because I was making something a few days ago, and I was suddenly like, oh my god, there's nuts. The nuts are around.
Right, no, peanuts are good.
Yeah, I've not killed David off yet.
Not yet. Well, neither have I. There have been close calls, but
Yeah.
Butterfinger.
Why is the chocolate so soft?
It's
It's
just
American chocolate,
It's
it
just a
does that.
chocolate coating.
I think you Brits like, you like your biscuits hard. We like them soft. we enjoy a nice bite of a soft chocolate candy bar.
Oh, that reminds me.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I can't wait for this.
And Miles didn't realize we were streaming 3 hours ago, or not 3 hours ago, 3 hours early. Otherwise, we could have had some students watching. That would have been fun. Like students who presented on you, and I think even Biblaridion too. I know they definitely presented on you.
Presented on me? What does that mean?
Yeah,
They did presentations on conlangers.
Yeah.
Like about me?
Yep.
Yeah.
As a person?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Mr. Biblaridion?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, and not only that, I forget if you told her, but apparently
That
one
too,
of them
Jonathan.
presented on Sylvia Sotomayor and completely made up her birthday.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder what they
More
made up
food
about me.
packaging.
Crunchy! Oh my god.
We
so
get
is
to try this.
Is this the one?
The one that is pokey.
Yes!
Yes. Yeah.
Yes!
You've had
Oh,
that
Oh my
crunchy?
god.
I'm so excited about that. Okay, and then what have we here?
Okay,
Oh.
I don't want to be sued for libel, so
Okay.
I will tell everyone about these in the private Discord.
Okay.
But I don't know. I really liked these, and then they did a thing, and now I don't buy them very often.
Ooh! Okay.
I think they're going to be too sweet for you, Jesse. But anyway.
I have a feeling they will, just based on their name.
Are these like...
I do apologize. This has turned into an hour of food. I'm sorry, everyone.
Are these like moon pies?
Depends what moon pies are.
Smells like chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, they're like moon pies.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Sweet. There's pure sugar inside this.
Yeah.
It's marshmallow, yeah?
Yeah, but it's like that soft marshmallow cream that's pure sugar.
You're adopting my catchphrase. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Like I was introducing some of my friends from SOAS, one Indian, one Chinese, to British Easter sweets, and I gave them a cream egg, which just has like liquid glucose on the inside, I think. And my friend had a full sugar rush from one bite of this cream
Oh my god.
egg because it's just too much sugar just coursing through her veins.
Do you want a tea cake?
I'm actually not a big fan of tea cakes, to be honest.
I'll kick you out of
I'm
Scotland.
not a fan of chocolate mixed with marshmallow.
Yeah.
It's not really a combo that works very well.
Do you want any of this?
Oh, the Butterfinger?
Yeah, I'll break some off for you.
I mean, depends how much you like it, because if you absolutely love it and are planning on devouring the whole thing, then by all means. Because I haven't had one of those in at least 17 years.
Oh, wow.
That's wild. Because, you know, I was explaining, there are certain things that are, you know, not as common. Not like they're hard to find in America.
Being that orange.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be that colour.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Does it do your memory justice?
What you... Yeah.
It does. It does.
Do I
see
need
that.
to say on stream the word water bottle?
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, water.
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
Water bottle?
Water bottle.
Water bottle.
Wow. Okay.
I did want to show this, by the way, because with your memory, if it's been a while, you may remember the covers or the wrappers of Butterfingers being less vibrant.
Yeah, they were not that yellow.
Yeah, in fact, this is the exact color that a Butterfinger would look like if you left it out in the sun and like the colors got bleached. And so it's really weird to me to see these now because it looks like, wow, did they leave those out in the sun?
It used to be a more golden color of
Yeah.
packaging.
I remember getting mini ones of these on Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, then you went to the good neighborhoods.
This takes me back to 2nd grade.
There you go.
Woo.
Oh, really?
Anyway, so like I said, there were certain things that, like, you know, are harder to find in America or less common. And so you're not surprised, or they're very unique or very niche. So you're not surprised to learn that they're not in Britain. Butterfingers are so common. They've got to be like the 3rd or 4th most common candy bar. That it really shocked me that these weren't. You couldn't find these in Britain, and you can find other things. It's very, very strange to me. Very strange.
Who says water?
Or
Now, I will say, I would like one of these, but if you have a minute, I'd love it if, or at least if somebody on the end could maybe take them out of the room to fish one out, so that.
So that we're not as loud. Because I too would like to try one.
You know what? I have another idea.
You're going to mute the volume.
That's right. Just enjoy looking at us for the time being.
Do we have the ability to tamper with the
Let's
universe
see.
like that?
Here we go. Yeah, so that's everything that Jesse and I are working on right now. Yeah.
Wow, very interesting.
Yeah. I'm surprised we broke every NDA telling you about that.
That's it.
Anyway, cheers.
Cheers. Oh, they were hard. Okay.
And I'm going to try the ginger.
Oh my god. That's why you thought Butterfingers were soft.
Oh yeah, but you know it's honeycomb.
I don't remember it being that hard.
Yeah, no, it always is. So honeycomb I was introduced to very late in life, and that's what it's called here in America. It's called honeycomb. Here it's called hokey pokey. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with this
No,
nomenclature.
hokey pokey is the New Zealand name.
Oh, really?
It's honeycomb here as well.
Well, I was at an ice cream shop in Edinburgh where it was called hokey pokey.
Maybe that's a Scottish thing. I don't know. I'm not familiar with this.
No. Well, anyway, so I was introduced to it very late. But yeah, they sell it in the United States, and it's fantastic. I loved it. I wouldn't have eaten it because I don't like honey. But of course, that's not why it's not like this is real honeycomb. That's just what it's called.
It's a honeycomb.
What?
It is a honeycomb.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's not bees. Comb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I
It
mean.
is honeycombed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not called that because it comes from a bee honeycomb. It's called that for a different reason.
Because it's a honey. Yeah. But it's got the structure of a honeycomb.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The physical structure
Yeah.
of it,
Mhm.
while it is not actually honeycomb.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's not
one
the
more
bees.
time.
It's not a bee.
There were no bees involved at
Yeah.
that point.
That's right.
But I don't know. How does sugar pollinate itself? Anyway. There's probably no bees past the point that the sugar has been harvested.
Yeah. Right.
Unless they're driving the trucks and we don't know about it.
All right. So when, by the way, I visited Scotland and first met Mr. Laridion, Biblaridion, as I think he prefers to be called.
Well, back then I was a very different person, so
Yeah, you were.
I don't know who I was.
Back in the day.
Your hair was slightly fluffier.
It was longer a little bit.
Oh, I'm somewhat ashamed to admit I slightly prefer it. You might consider going back to the fluffier look. Just throw it out there.
I love it when you give your
those days are gone. It's too late for that.
unrequested opinion. So.
It's
That's David.
You know goodness gracious, you and your British politeness. You know me, I come in with my belt buckle that's 3 times the height of me. You know, walk in like this. I think y'all should, and then I spit in this spittoon, and that's what I do.
No, we already know that. We heard about what comment you made on the God tier conlanging thing. We know. We know what you do.
Goodness gracious. Anyway, so you reminded me of young George Harrison.
That is one of the people who, in terms of appearance, one of the celebrities I get compared to the most. And there's one particular, I think it's an album cover of his head, and he's like in a pool.
Yeah.
And there was one time where my hair looked exactly like that. And so every single time I saw that, for a second, I had to do a double take because it looked like a picture of me.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. See, that's really cool. George Harrison, like, you know, we always have who was your favorite Beatle? For me, it was George Harrison, easily. Part of it is the distinctive and really, I would say, provocative eyebrows. And that's what you've got. It's really quite striking. Anyway.
My favorite Beatle is the Bombardier Beatle.
That's the most Biblaridion thing you've said today.
This is why we love you. God, yeah, that was...
I would say...
I am now on a sugar high. Like, my hands are going to start shaking soon. Between the dessert and these two things. Whew.
This is wonderful. The consistency, when I first had it, it reminded me of malt balls. I mean, the flavor is totally different.
Maltesers.
Malt balls?
No, malt.
Malt. I want to say
Like Whoppers.
provisionally yes, but I don't know.
Are they covered in chocolate?
Yeah.
Yeah, Maltesers.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the texture, not at all the taste.
Yeah. Anyway, so what were you gonna say?
To Jonathan,
Yes.
Having streamed and received Jonathan comments, I think there is something that it's a co-production between judgmental streamer and judgmental commenter that creates the judgment squared. I think that the feature geometry just forces it, right?
I also agree. Weevils are very cool animals. They are the most common type of beetle, and that's really saying something because there's more beetles than there are of like everything else put together.
Really? I thought there was more.
Ants.
Yeah.
No, beetles are by far they are the most successful clade of at least of animals and probably plants as well combined ever. There is JBS
Beetles are my
Haldane.
favorite plants.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean.
I know.
We include plants in with the mix. I don't know if they outdo like microbes, but JBS Haldane was a famous biologist in I think the 50s. He was at some like convention of the Royal Society of Biology or whatever it was, and someone asked him, you know, what is the virtue of your study? What has your studies allowed you to divine about the mind of the creator? And he famously responded by saying, I have deduced that the creator has an inordinate fondness for beetles.
Nice.
Okay. I can't remember what I was going to say.
I don't know, but I'm ready to hear it because you seem to have started it twice. I love it.
I was just going to say that the person that I get that I think I looked the most like was Jonathan Brandis. That's it.
Jonathan Brandis.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk
The
about the
actor?
fact that I was compared to Jason Momoa?
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, that's right. What was that?
I was at the dentist,
That's right.
and someone said, "Oh, you're trying to look like Jason Momoa."
Mhm.
And I'm like, I guess I have long.
That's it. That's what you got to do. You got to have the hair. Wow. Wow.
That reminds me of the Simpsons joke, where Mr. Burns is looking at all these little puppies, and one of them stands on his hind legs, and he says to Smithers, he's like, "That reminds me of the fellow who's always walking and standing," and he's like, "Who? You know, the one who's always walking and standing." Smithers says, "Rory Calhoun." He's like, "That's it." It's like, oh yeah, you look a bit like Jason Momoa because your hair is longer.
Yeah.
There you are.
No, we.
All right. There's a
I
little bit of chocolate in here. I gotta get it.
I don't look like anyone, so I must be
Well, that's good.
unique.
Yeah.
Because I've never been told I look like anyone famous. So.
Never?
Never.
You have been told that you looked like somebody famous by me in one picture. Do you remember?
Picture.
The picture where you're crouched and petting a dog, and you're quite a bit younger. Remember who I said you looked like?
No, because I didn't believe you at the time. Julia Stiles.
Julia Stiles.
Which I was like.
In this photo, Jesse is a dead ringer for Julia Stiles.
I must say no.
We're gonna take a photo of the photo and put the photo somewhere where others can view it. And then, as you look at the photo, think, look at this young
That's who
photo
says I
of
look like.
Julia Stiles.
Yeah. But only in this one picture from when I was in high school.
Did
so
you get a
like,
rhinoplasty between them?
no, this is.
What
is
photo of
everything.
Julia Stiles are you looking at? Maybe she got the rhinoplasty. Oh yeah, that's Julia Stiles. I guess I mean her nose is a bit different, but it's a little bit far away.
And as an anthropologist, I'm obviously trained in race science. So I know how to measure the skulls and things now.
But also, that photo didn't look much like Julia Stiles. You gotta get it, you gotta get a good...
The correct photo of
Well, and
Jesse
I'm
and the correct photo.
I'm assuming because I was in high school when the other photo was taken that he must also mean like when Julia Stiles was potentially around the same age.
Yeah, like when she
so
was...
like 10 Things I Hate About You, kind of?
Yeah, or what was that movie, So You Think You Can Dance?
Not Save the Last Dance. The dance one. Shoot, what was it called?
Dancing with Wolves?
No.
Yeah, it is Save the Last Dance, or Last Dance.
Last Dance? Okay.
Yeah. Julia Stiles, Last Dance. Look at that. That is so much what you look like in that photo.
Sure.
Here, kind of there.
Well,
okay, but do I have to see this specific photo?
I'm gonna hold it up. But I want to try to get. Yeah. Look, this is like a dead ringer for you.
But
I'm trying to get a good one. No, not
May
that
23rd shall henceforth be known as Yeah Day.
Yeah.
Not that one.
Yeah.
Not that one. Hold on. I'll go back. And decide which one is. Because see, this one it's good, but the hair is wrong, so I don't want to pull that one up. That one is pretty good, but it's a split screen. See, and
in the picture, my hair is pulled up, so get the one where it's pulled up.
I just love this thrilling content.
Not
It's really good
not
stuff,
that.
Jake.
Not that. Okay. So which one were we talking about where the hair was pulled up?
I don't know, you already pulled it up and said no, so I'm out. This is...
Actually, this is kind of good. Now, again, she's... what's... there we go.
Maybe just the hair.
Just
it's
like
the hair,
me and
Randall.
Jason Momoa.
It's the hair. That's all you need is blonde hair and you look like
my
Julia
luscious
Stiles.
locks.
You know, Jesse's always standing and walking the way that Julia Stiles does.
Unlike in that picture.
Dude.
Yeah, no, that's just...
After all that, I don't think Jake saw the picture.
Oh, yeah, I don't... and this is, by the way...
Because that was awful. Like,
I don't think...
Oh, you're pulling out the Jason Momoa, I see.
I don't think that...
My hair is wavy, not curly.
I'm going to say that. I don't think Jessie in her entire life has ever sat like this.
Well, and also, you know that point in
Not
the
even
movie.
on the tube?
I've never seen the movie.
Oh my gosh. Well, her character is trying to learn, he's trying to teach her to dance in a different way because she's
Yes.
a ballerina. He's trying to teach her how to hip hop dance and trying to get her to loosen up because she's ballerina and super posed and tight and everything.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to get her to loosen up. So it's about like Sylvester Stallone trying to learn to walk like a cowboy.
And this is
So
what
he's
LTS
like-
is based on, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
And so he's like, listen, you got to sit like this. And so she's trying to be all like, yeah. And so anyway, that's what's going on.
No, but
and
like...
so like nobody sits like that naturally unless they're
Oh,
trying
I
to.
do. I sit like that all the time.
No Julia Stiles
That's true.
sits like that naturally.
Yeah, but like, no, I never would have seen the movie because you can see the entirety of the movie in a 30-second commercial, and it's like, no, obviously, I'm not going to watch this. But
it's a great movie. I love it.
Getting back to the important question.
Sure.
If I were a kind of weevil, I think I would be like is flower weevil the correct word for them?
They're weevils, so there's probably like 10,000 species. Of
Okay,
flower weevils,
I would be one of the 10,000 flower weevils. Because I like being in the kitchen.
I mean, rice weevils are a...
Oh, the rice weevils that are specific.
oh no.
All right.
Are they
Jake.
called that because they get in rice?
Yeah.
Oh.
If you have bags of rice just lying around.
Oh.
Okay. Jake, what feature or word have you created in a conlang that you look back on and go, I am proud of that? Like, rah! Like you're so happy because it's like, I came up with this.
No, give him the speaking coaster.
Oh,
I'm sorry, give them the speaking coaster, sorry. Is that,
the
there.
speaking coaster is now
There we go.
yours.
Um,
And you're coming up next, so you be ready.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
like I know my favorite word in Tlau is Tluatlaku.
Oh, say it again.
Tluatlaku.
Okay, now that has that TL at the beginning, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Okay.
I think it's got two of them.
Well, I know, but I just want to make sure I heard the beginning right.
Tluatlaku. Yeah, Tluatlaku. I got the tone wrong first of all.
Damn,
yes.
but
It's
this is
lower,
right.
high.
Okay.
Yeah, Tluatlaku.
Toltaku.
Ooh, I gotta work on that one. Okay. And what does it mean?
Commander.
Okay, but like the sound is cool. Yeah, yeah.
The sound is great. I mean, there's some things like I just really love classifiers for me. But I think that I can understand why my love of classifiers is very different to David's feelings about classifiers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because if you use classifiers like they're used in Thai or other languages, which are basically when you're taught about classifiers, Thai is what I was taught as like the standard model of classifierness. Like David said, like coasters, you have to put them down before you put the thing on top.
Yeah.
In Amerindian languages, they're used much more creatively, and they're also much more opaque. And so you might have a class of like words for wasp that all end in a word that obviously is related to the word for wasp. But the thing that makes it a classifier is that it can be used with things like demonstratives or in a verbal paradigm that other nouns can't. So it's like a specific kind of I don't know what the right word that isn't morphological is. A specific kind of unit that's different to a standard noun, basically.
Right. So it's like 3 waspies of wasp. This waspy wasp.
Yeah, it would be like
probably smaller, not bigger, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it'd be like and wasp wa fly wa. Which it looks superficially a lot more like a noun class system, but there's usually no requirement for agreement, and there's usually a lot more of them. So like Bora has, I think, the highest number of attested classifiers of any language. That's like 300 and something.
Oh, wow.
Are these things basically noun class markers, except because they do not trigger agreement, you can't technically call them noun class markers?
Kind of. They exist somewhere in between the two. I was demonstrated as like polar points, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on the one end you have like a Bantu noun class system where you have up to like 12, 20 something categories, whereas if you have classifiers, usually although I was looking at Nambikwara and they have like 14 attested classifiers, right? At which point you kind of think this is a lot closer to a noun class system in how it's being described. It's just that because they're used in certain constructions, like in a possessive construction, for example, and not in other places, they are called something else, right? Maybe this is something where the typological people have given it a name that is kind of misleading if you're familiar with other stuff. But yeah, I just think they're really cool.
All right.
Biblaridion gets the speaking coaster. Same question.
What was the exact phrasing of the question again?
A word or feature in one of your languages that you look back on, and it's sort of that moment of, I came up with this, that, like you're really proud of it or you really like it.
To kind of piggyback off of what Jake was saying, I think the way that the classificatory verbal prefixes in Alorthwe came out was pretty fun. I think I cut some corners when making them that I'm not very proud of, and I don't think it's on the whole particularly well done, but it's very fun to play around with. So like a lot of verbs, or pretty much any verb can do this, but there are some verbs that require it, where there's this set of prefixes for various sort of semantic domains, I guess, and they have up to 3 forms. There's the direct form that refers to either the subject or the object. There's the instrumental form, which can also kind of be used adverbially, and then there's a locative form for, obviously, location. And so just by stringing these together onto a verb, you can make, like, one of my favorite words, at least in the way that it's constructed, is the word for lava, which is ithokshang. and the way that's constructed, the actual verb root is just the velar nasal at the end, which is just a very semantically weak word that just means to go or to move, that sort of thing. And then the ksha prefix is the direct classifier that refers to fire, and the etho prefix is the instrumental form of the water classifier. So the whole thing literally means the fire that moves like water, or like liquid fire, which is lava. So that's quite fun. I like that.
That is very cool.
That is cool.
Thank you. Another one that, while we're just thinking of favorite words, my favorite word in Nakashti is, well, I'm not sure it's my absolute favorite, but it's a word that I quite like because I just think it's funny, is chitsinkem. And the way it breaks down, the root is the verb tsinkas, which means to do work or to put effort into something. And then the M suffix is just a sort of passive nominal thing. So a tsinkem is a product of work, something that you have worked on, like a project or something. And then the chi prefix is the pejorative diminutive. So chi tsinkem altogether means like an unworthy or like poor work of effort, and it's used to mean like something that is inherently difficult to do or requires a lot of effort, but something that you shouldn't necessarily be proud of for having done. Like, it's not something you're going to put on your resume. Like, kind of like a waste of time.
Who showed up?
It's about time.
we were just filling air until you showed up, Rexian. Anyway, but it's funny, as you were describing the specific etymology of that, what I thought you were going to build to at the end was it was a chore, a house chore.
I mean, it can be used in that sort of sense, but it would specifically have the sense of a house chore that doesn't need doing, or like is a completely like fruitless effort, something that like, why would you ever ask someone to do this? Like, trying to think of an example, but
I mean, you might not be able to with house chores because usually most of them are necessary.
Something like watching the grass grow. Like, it's something that can be done, but you're not necessarily going to like brag about having done it.
Yeah, I was unclear what the domain of the pejoration was. So in other words, was like the pejoration indicative of the speaker's attitude towards it, but in your case it was more like society's attitude towards it, because it's like if it was the speaker's attitude, it could be like, say like you just hate washing the dishes. The pejorative is on there not because like it's not necessary, but because they didn't like it.
I guess it could be either, because the pejorative actually comes from an old word that just means insect. Because it's just like something small and not very good that, this is just like a bug thing.
Oh, of course, Artifaxian is about to go to bed. But what was the original reason that we invoked Artifaxian? Because it was like...
Was it because of the note?
Artifaxian! Oh my god, okay. Do you still have it? Okay, so if you go back to the beginning of this stream, and I had talked about this with Bib ahead of time. I described to him that I had gotten this £10 note from the Scottish Bank that like they wouldn't accept here in England, and so I was like, well, can I just give it to you because you're from Scotland, then you can use it, right? And then we did this whole just violently hilarious skit about getting Bib onto the stream, and it was a smash hit, and everybody loved it, and they thought that I was a genius for pulling it off. And so I give him this note, and look what it says.
That's a funny way to spell Scotland.
And it may be showing up on your screen backwards because your camera is backwards.
Oh, is that why it is?
But
well, I did it so that we would be in the correct order.
Yeah.
So that's why they flip it around. Huh, good to know. So yeah, it was backwards. But you could see that that's the Bank of Ireland, because I didn't get that in Scotland. I got it in Northern Ireland. And so anyway, I've given it to Biblaridion anyway. But we were wondering if maybe, I just misremembered. It's not that I looked at it and misread it. I just misremembered. But we're wondering if maybe you could have some use for this. Like, I understand this is for Northern Ireland, but
I'm sure you already have in the Bank of Artifexia. I'm sure you already have one for island. If you wanted it, it's here. I have no use for it.
You just have to come here and pick it up.
And by here, it'll be with Biblaridion back in Scotland. So you need to go to Scotland to pick it up, and then just swing through Northern Ireland.
And if you could go via Wales, then it would have seen all of the
just all the areas.
Yeah. No, well, also I kind of meant, I was kind of hoping that maybe you could have shown up by the end of the stream, just
today.
Yeah.
Today to just do it.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been nice. I mean, you could just take, what is it, EasyJet? Or what's Ryanair? There you go. Just hop on Ryanair and pop over.
Here.
Yeah, you'd be here. You could be here right quick. And then we could have had you on the stream. But anyway, so yeah. Now there's a little incentive for you to visit. No, maybe I should keep it then. Come to California to pick it up. But anyway,
come to California for that £10 note.
You can get this incredible £10 note that you obviously can't use where you live, but somewhere. I mean, just
somewhere around here.
Keep driving north, and you'll be able to use it. So yeah, there you are.
Is this like the equivalent of someone giving us Canadian money? Because they're like, well, it's closer to you. You can use it.
Approximately, though I think we're a little bit further away than that.
Well, sure.
Anyway, but since he's here, we recently did this D&D one shot for George's Tongues and Runes. And by the way, I wanted to bring up that there was a bit of an in-joke, but my Dragonborn bard. It was revealed that he had this incredible attraction to Biblaridion's character. The reason for this was, of course, somewhere beforehand, you said how you had this tirade about Dragonborn.
I do.
Yes, and so that was why I thought it would be so funny.
But I must say, it's not that I don't like Dragonborn. I think the concept of Dragonborn is really, really cool, and I'm all for it.
Okay.
I just think that the new editions handle it absolutely abysmally.
In what sense?
Stop me if this goes on for too long. Okay, so it is a well-known fact that dragons are a pretty big deal, right?
Yeah.
The game is called Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
And dragons, it's canonical in the lore that dragons are some of the most powerful things in the world. They're on the same scale as demigods and archdevils and all sorts of things like that. So you'd think that their humanoid scions, the Dragonborn, would likewise be a pretty big deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in 3rd edition, they were a big deal, because in 3rd edition, they were not a race. They were actually a template. You started out as a human, elf, or dwarf, or what have you, and then you received this calling from Bahamut, the dragon god, which would lead you on this big, epic, continent-spanning pilgrimage, where you were led away to this ancient sacred site, and you underwent this ritual in which you were rewarded for your piety by taking on the aspect of the dragon.
Oh, so they were like a hero class.
Exactly. They were a really big deal. So that they were kind of when you come across something like a vampire or a werewolf, that's a really special, campaign-defining moment. Remember that one time we saw that Dragonborn? That's a really special thing. And at least the way we played it in my games, there have only been a dozen Dragonborn at most in all of recorded history. And so if you were playing a Dragonborn, number one, you could span an entire campaign just from the premise of having a character become a Dragonborn. There's so many cool story hooks in that. Number two, if you were a Dragonborn, that automatically gave you a great deal of swag, as they say. And everywhere you go, people look and go, wow, look at that guy's a Dragonborn. That's inherently really special. And then 4th edition comes along, and they scrapped all of that, and they just said, oh, well, they're just a standard race now, and the only backstory they ever get is they were maybe made by a dragon god or something. I don't know, you figure it out. And now you can just bump into a dragon people just walking down the street. Oh yeah, there goes another one of those dragon guys, nothing special there. I bumped into one of those at the tavern this morning, and it's just so much more bland and flavorless than how it used to be, It's just inexcusable.
This just makes me even happier about my Dragonborn bard character, which has a very vague backstory and just kind of shows up unexpectedly in places and just expects that everybody will love him.
Sounds like you.
Yeah, exactly. See? By the way, somebody had mentioned on that stream, they're like, "Oh, I'm surprised that David isn't playing tabaxi, who are these cat creatures."
Yeah.
And it's like, true, you know, had I known that that was an option, definitely. But what
They speak Kamakawai, I think.
Oh boy. Oh God. Anyway, so the reason I chose the Dragonborn was because, of course, I was going to be a bard because they have the highest charisma, and so I just went through and was like, well, who has pluses to charisma? And the Dragonborn not only have pluses to charisma, like big ones, they have plus to strength as well. I was like, well, this is perfect. I can just go around and charm everybody and then bash things.
And that's another thing. You'd think, like, if you show the average person a picture of a Dragonborn, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you what they're going to say, if you ask them, what do you think this race is capable of?
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you they're going to say, oh, they've got those claws, they've got those big fangs, they can probably do like claw attacks and bite attacks, they've got that, you know, that scaly hide, they probably have really high armor. No, they have none of those things. So in game, you say, oh, I'm playing a Dragonborn, I'm gonna reach over and bite him. No, you just can't do that.
Yeah.
It's just physically impossible. There is no way mechanically to do that.
You got your breath weapon.
You do have a breath weapon, which is really weak and underpowered, but even
true.
beyond the power aspect, it's just like,
This is true.
there's so much you can do with this concept, and they just go nowhere with it. And don't even get me started on tieflings, because they're even worse in this respect.
I love it. I am so here for this.
We need to think about shutting things down.
I
It
know.
is past time.
We're keeping poor Artifexy up.
I know, and
He's sitting here waiting for us to mention him again, fighting off sleep. By the way, I'm assuming as soon as he posted that comment, I'm assuming he just shut the computer down and immediately went into bed with his nightcap on.
yeah, exactly, sleeping right now.
No, I love this. I love this rant, and honestly, I can't wait to hear more of it, which we'll go to immediately once the stream stops. But actually, here, like in this remaining 1 minute, any last calls since we have Biblaridion and Jake here? Did you want to ask Jake to give you the recipe for Pankashku pancakes?
Oh, for what did we have? Panipuri?
Panipuri.
Pankashku also got a shout out in the Tongues and Runes stream, though.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
No,
I loved how a few people heard that.
Bib did, but didn't understand if I was going anywhere with it, and I wasn't. It was just like it's a one that is website.
Yeah, just like what happened with Pankashku.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
See, toasties.
Woo!
A full circle moment.
I by the way, if somebody said I'm either getting toasties or going to bed as well, I assume that would mean snuggling up in a little blanket and
Getting toasty.
getting your toasties.
Looking up to a toast.
Toasty delivery.
Who's delivering you toasties?
Wow. Yeah. Oh, she's been sleeping in her box. Oh.
Also, I didn't think a toasty would be very good if it was vegan. Controversial opinion. But the whole point of it is that there's melted cheese.
Oh, yeah.
But vegan cheese can be good.
No, it can't.
Oh. I guess I was mistaken.
No one has ever compared vegan cheese, and I'm sure that there is ground meat substitutes that are I find them weirdly close to real ground meat, right?
Vegan cheese is awful. Here to hear.
But yeah, vegan
I
cheese
used to
is...
believe this too.
Wait, what?
I have found
I'm
a
so
vegan cheese
confused.
that I like.
Oh, Artifexian Biblaridion has found a vegan cheese that he likes. And he is going to bet you 10 pounds that you're going to like it too.
I think that's what's being said here.
But is it better than regular cheese?
No, let's not go that far.
Okay.
But it's tolerable.
Oh.
So Bragdell's toasties are not what you're thinking.
My favorite people, like David, are tolerable.
Very tolerable.
Very tolerable.
Very
The
tolerable.
most tolerable.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yay, Jason!
Yeah, Sunday, by the way, we're getting together. We're gonna play my board game, darn it. It takes a long time to get into it, but we're gonna do it anyway. We'll be ready to do the first roll the moment they kick us out of there.
Sounds about right.
At least half of us have played it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's expanded, Jake. Be
Yeah,
ready.
actually, everybody here has played it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, this time, the magic classes are in there, and it.
I've never been defeated.
Yeah, this is true.
That's true.
One time I played it, I did not lose.
David defeated me last time. Okay.
All right.
Me too, George. Me too.
Oh.
Okay.
You can play it too as soon as you invite us to give a talk in Wisconsin, George.
But
All
be
right.
available for the public consumption.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
We'll get there.
But anyway.
Yeah. Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you all.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you all for being here. And we look forward to finding out what we're going to do with the Dear Little Beaver language next Thursday.
Yeah.
When we are back home.
Yeah,
and
when we see what the
streaming.
poll results are.
Exactly. Streaming from our normal place, normal time.
Yep.
34
minutes
Minnie,
on
invite
that
us to
poll.
Wisconsin. We'll give a presentation to like your students or something.
There you go.
All right, so everyone stay grammar, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Be at peace.